Deputy Hazard with Slime is an item that falls into kind of a rare category of Cars diecasts. He's a car that I feel like nobody really asked for, but when he released, nobody complained and everybody really liked him. He's a super obscure variant from Cars on the Road. He's a variant of a variant. It's a variant of the pre-existing Lightning McQueen Deputy Hazard diecast, but once again, Mattel has gone out of their way to make sure even something super obscure from the Cars series looks incredible. With a fully removable slime piece, a completely new expression for McQueen, and, in later releases, a darker color scheme so that he matches Tony Motorfelt better. It's really great to see all of this effort go into an item that could really be a cheap, easy remake. Anyway guys, welcome back to another review and to another 2024 Cars Diecast review. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Lightning McQueen Deputy Hazard with Slime, so let's get started. Easily my least favorite thing about this item is the card back, okay? When I bought this, everybody in my family who saw it asked me why he didn't have the slime on his artwork. Like, yeah, why doesn't he, right? This is something that doesn't bother me that much. You know, we're pretty used to seeing Cars variants that don't always have artwork that completely matches them. I'm thinking like Mater with 95 hat or Sterling with headset, etc., etc. So I'm fine with him not having the slime on him in the artwork. What bothers me most is the name. He's just called Lightning McQueen Deputy Hazard, just like his release last year was, despite this being a completely new variant, which the packaging, of course, tells you with the new for 2024 logo. They didn't even give him a new name. This is something that's been really bothering me about the Cars diecast line as a whole over the past few years, with their recent tendency to just use the character's name and not label the variant. The tuners with flames were just called their names. Miles Axelrod with microphone a few years back was just called Miles Axelrod. It's a trend that really started on the current red packaging era, and it really bothers me, honestly. Like, these are separate variants. Just use the variant names. At least for re-releases, we know, oh, these are the tuners with flames. This is Miles Axelrod with microphone. This Ramon is Union Jack Ramon, or Artist Ramon, or whatever. But with new releases, we now don't have an official name for this item. And I've seen several go around. I've heard Slimed Lightning McQueen. I've been saying Lightning McQueen Deputy Hazard with Slime. That's my personal favorite. That's the one I tend to go with. But, you know, because there's no official name, a bunch of fan-made ones kind of get thrown around, and we all eventually land on one or two. And it just really annoys me that with new variants like this, or especially with the Cars on the Road Ramon, they're not labeling them with new variant names. So collectors have no way of knowing what to call them. Like, obviously we come up with our own names and they're pretty simple to come up with names for, but still it's annoying to not have an official name for the item. And I think it could really mess up a kid, like if they go and ask their parent for Lightning McQueen Deputy Hazard, like, you know, they maybe bought the wrong thing. The strangest thing about the name not being changed is that they actually fixed a typo on the original release. Last year's release had Deputy Hazard with 2 Z's, and I assumed it was a stylistic choice for his name, but it seems that it was actually an error, and this year they went out of their way to remove one of the Z's. So why do that and not add a few more words to give this variant an official name? I don't know. Of course, when this item first came out in 2023, I heard some people complain about the grammar of Lightning McQueen Deputy Hazard, and I don't mind that much. I took it as McQueen is playing a character in a movie, so it's Lightning McQueen playing Deputy Hazard. But typically a Cars diecast would call it Deputy Hazard Lightning McQueen. I think they took it as McQueen playing the character. So McQueen's name comes first and then the character, right? It's like how you would say Ben Affleck Batman or Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Why did I mention the Ben Affleck one of all Batmans? I don't know. Anyway, on the back of the packaging, we can see several other 2024 releases. Rodat Marker, Randy, Cryptid Buster Mater, Motto, Mallory Carhut, and Kirsten Marshall. The only new release shown on this card back is Rodat Marker, but this McQueen was one of the first new releases of 2024, so that makes sense. I've reviewed all these guys at some point in the recent past, except Randy. I still do not have him, unfortunately. Yeah, this McQueen, it took me months to find this guy, okay? I found his wave like 7 times before I found him. All right, so here we go. Here is, oh, this looks disgusting. Okay, here is Deputy Hazard with slime out of the package, and this This looks so gross. I don't... Ew. Okay, obviously, it's most easily comparable to Cupcake McQueen. In my opinion, one of the best McQueen variants of all time, who is not only a great-looking item, it's also incredibly screen accurate. This is so much slime. I think this is significantly more than what gets shot on him in the episode. Of course, when they're filming the movie in the B-movie episode, McQueen gets sprayed with alien goo several times. And the funny thing is, this actually doesn't match any of the times the slime hit him, which really isn't an issue, obviously. The slime, I feel like, doesn't cover him as much, but they wanted to make sure it could be a secure, removable accessory on the diecast, so they just kind of added more all around. Back when I was making, I think, either the Every Single 2024 car video or diecast history, it was one of the two. In a video where I showcased this item, I went through the episode and I realized that none of the times McQueen gets hit by slime, and trust me, there are several in the episode, as we all know, none of them actually directly match the slime on him on the diecast, which really doesn't matter. I just think it's kind of funny that none of it matches exactly, and I went out of my way to check every time he gets hit by slime to see if that was the case. Now, of course, this is a removable accessory. We will pull it off in just a minute, but you can see he's got that sad face under there. Really, really nice that they did that. This is just a big green glob of plastic. It even covers the guy's mouth. Look at him, he's so sad. This looks so awkward from so many angles. But yeah, you know, as Logan Paul once said, I like my slime drippy, and you can see that that it is dripping all the way down him. It's really bumpy. It's like, it's very well sculpted, but it just looks so disgusting. But I guess that is the point, isn't it? You got the Deputy logo there on the side. You've got his light bar up there. Obviously, same sculpt as the McQueen from last year, but you might notice, like I said earlier, the coloring on this guy is quite a bit darker, which I think is pretty nice. This color, the sort of secondary color on him, is darker than on the original. Seems to have been done to match Tony Motorfelt. Now these two go pretty well together, which is great because they are, of course, in the same scene together. Last year, when I reviewed Deputy Hazard, I had two big problems with him. Up first, I really didn't like the expression, and second, I didn't really like the color scheme. I thought it didn't match how he looks in the episode, and so it's really, really nice to see that Mattel realized that the color wasn't super accurate, and they went back and they updated it. I don't know if it's still all that accurate, but I am glad that they made it a bit darker here to try to make it a bit more accurate, at least to Tony Motorfelt, who is a pretty accurate looking diecast. So really glad to see them make that change. Now, for the record, not all versions of Deputy Hazard with slime have that change. This was a running change made later on in the year. His earlier releases have the same color scheme as the original. So if you're super particular, you may want to check in your stores if they get them in, which variant they have. I was lucky enough to pick up this darker variant. Okay, so we're going to pull the slime off here if possible. I really love that the slime is different on either side. Really, really well sculpted. Of course, this is one of two McQueens we've had with plastic accessories this year, the other being the Cryptobuster. The Cryptobuster one, the Space Creature one. And they're both really great. I love the asymmetricalness of the slime. Okay, so there's just enough space to pull this off of the light bar. It might be kind of a tight fit. Let's see. Can we get it off? I assume it's supposed to come off, right? Is it not supposed to come off? I know you can take it off, but like, did they plan for you to take it off? Was it like, I want to know if it was the intention to take it off or not. Let's see. Okay, so compared to something like Cupcake McQueen, it is definitely a bit harder to get off. It's pretty secure under the light bar, which makes me wonder if they didn't want you to remove it. Regardless, I did. So, yeah, and let's see. Can we fit this on other McQueens? I assume we probably could. But yeah, this one is a little more... Yeah, there you go. It's not as secure, obviously. The light bar is really what holds it in place, so I don't think it's supposed to be removed like the one on Cupcake McQueen. You know, it's not as easily removed. You do have to kind of warp the plastic a tiny bit to get it off. But hey, now that it's off, here he is. You can see, we can now see his mouth, which is usually covered by the slime, probably because it's the exact same mouth as the one on the original variant. And seeing him with the slime taken off, I will say, I don't know how I feel about this darker color. I think it's still too dark, but they definitely fixed the tan. I think the tan coloring is perfect, but I think this sort of brownish color is now a bit too dark. I think this is one of the cases where we just need kind of a combination of the colors on these two. We need something kind of between there, but I do think that tan now looks much better. But there you have it, guys. Lightning McQueen Deputy Hazard with slime. A pretty interesting item that not only gives us a cool accessory, but also goes out of its way to give us a new expression and an updated paint job. And I just think it's a testament to how much effort they put into Cars diecast still to this day. You know, it's really cool to see that 18 years into the Cars diecast line, we can still get things that are this well designed with this much thought and care put into them. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.